week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Terrence Bud Crawford. Terrence Crawford, get this. Hedge's fund offered me and Spence $25 million guaranteed apiece, and Haymon wasn't interested. Wow. Terrence Crawford revealed Tuesday night that representatives from two unnamed hedge funds offered to pay him and Spence Jr. a guaranteed purses of $25 million apiece during a prolonged negotiations with Premier Boxing Champions founder Al Haymon. Crawford discussed why talks for their high-profile match fell apart late last month during a 20-minute session stream on Instagram Live. The unbeaten WBO welterweight champion also revealed that he personally informed Spence of the $50 million offer, but that Haymon, who advises Spence, wouldn't consider the possibility of working with these unidentified investors Crawford contended were willing to absorb the significant financial risk involved in their pay-per-view showdown. And he said, quote, "We're going on and on," Crawford said, "you know. And of course, me and Al, you know, we're going back and forth. You know the numbers. We're not going back and forth about anything else. We're just going back and forth about the numbers. On and on. I have two companies, you know, that reached out to me that, you know, wanted to give me and Spence $25 million guaranteed up front. So a real guy like myself, I called Spence and said, hey, bro, look, listen, you know what I mean? I got this company that's willing to give us $25 million a piece guaranteed. What's up? What you gonna do? He like, $25 million? What about the back end? He said, I'm like, dude, listen, if they make the money back, then we get an 80-20 percentage on the back end. You know what I mean? It's simple math. I said, man, we got people who are buying the fight. I mean, stealing the fight. They got fire sticks, and he laughed, and he like, man, I got a fire stick too. And I'm like, see, man, ain't nobody really like buying. You know what I mean? Pay-per-views, no more. I said, man, we get this upfront money and we good. It's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? And the 35-year-old Crawford later explained Tuesday night that he was willing to accept Haymon's unusual offer of $0 guaranteed for the world's most meaningful fight that can be made in boxing. Crawford apparently was convinced that his share of the revenue from the fight wouldn't have earned him enough money to work without a guarantee. That was only after, according to Crawford, Haymon wouldn't entertain the idea of a third party's involvement. There is more. Spence, he said he had to go back and ask Al for permission, you know, if he can, you know, take this big chunk, a lump sum of money to fight Terrence Crawford, Crawford said, which he didn't call me back. So I proposed it to Al. I hit Al and I'm like, Al, listen, you know, man, I got this big hedge fund company out there. You know, they claim they know you. Not one, but two. Not one, but two. You know, the two companies willing to put $20+ million in both of our pockets guaranteed. Al told me straight up, I'm not letting anybody touch this fight. Like, all right, cool. But I'm like, why? He like, why would you want to put a ceiling on yourself? Why you want to put a cap on yourself? I'm like, well, that's not putting a cap on myself. If this company is taking the risk, then you know it's a high risk. I mean, high reward. If that's the case, you know, I can't see a fight that's been doing millions of pay-per-view buys, you know, since Floyd and them. So you know that was an altercation. Let me counterpunch. This is not surprising to me. I've been telling people this for a long time. It doesn't matter how much money that was going to be offered. Okay? Al Haymon is not going to allow anyone control of anything that he has control over primarily. So if Al has control over it, he's not going to share the control with anyone else, especially if they have money. You guys don't believe me? What happened with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua with DAZN? Al Haymon spoke in Deontay's ear and said, that's $120 million. That's Floyd training money. Okay, so that was his way of trying to sway Deontay Wilder's decision to not take it. But in actuality, they weren't trying to entertain that idea anyway. They were just there to hear it out. So in this case, this is another big fight, another undisputed fight that could happen, and people are putting money up for it with a back end. And see, what do you think Al Haymon will do? Abort. Decline. Okay? So I feel that Al Haymon has stopped a lot of huge fights from happening due to his own ego and his own power trip. Simply put. Because if he had any consideration for the fighters and if he cared about other fighters getting paid, he wouldn't have done what he did. He's shooting that down. He's known to do it, and that's what he's going to continue to do. They don't have money like that at the PBC. Zero money down is who would take that besides a fool? Okay, that's the problem. You're just taking a percentage split, back end money, but honestly, these guys are not making that type of money. They're just making you think that they are. You know, well, Al Haymon this and Al Haymon that. And Spence, you know, he should just be real with everybody. He knows he does not call the shots. No one does except Al Haymon. So just really drop the promotional, I'm my own boss and I have my own promotional company, because what did he do when Terrence Crawford went to him with this info? He said, let me ask Al Haymon. So he's not his own boss if he has to go back and ask someone else. You know, so this just reveals everything you need to know about why this fight's not happening. This is huge news when it comes to these two fighters. And now you look back at why Terrence Crawford decided to take the $10 million to fight on BLK Prime. Because it's all about the money. Floyd Mayweather said it best. It's prize fighting. That's what they fight for. So if there's no guaranteed upfront money like he's accustomed to, well, why would he just take anything? Especially when an offer that huge came to the table and they swatted it down. But real strange. You guys tell me what you think about Terrence Crawford's $25 million or $50 million offer. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.